how's it going, guys? My name is Zach with the Movie Castle, and today we're going to be taking a look at Butcher's Bluff. This is from 2023, directed by William Instone and Matt Rifley. The movie stars Jeremy London, Bill Oberst Jr., and Paul T. Taylor. Now, this is a film I recently saw at a film festival, and the thing with this film festival is there was a ton of stuff going on. Basically, the screen was always running, but you would also have vendors, celebrity guests, panels, a ton of stuff, and you physically couldn't see absolutely everything. But when I was looking through at the things the festival had, I saw this, and I was a huge slasher fan, and I knew that this was something I needed to see. And this is pretty cool. If you're a fan of old school, grungier slasher horror, this is definitely one you'll want to check out. It knows what it is, and it does it pretty well. Basically, in this movie, you get a group of filmmakers, they're working on a class project, and they decide to make a documentary about a small town's local legend, the Hogman. The Hogman was this kid who was bullied and decided to seek revenge on his bullies and would escape into the woods, where legend has it he still lives to this day, and all these local disappearances are blamed on the Hogman. Now, with this, it's a slasher first and foremost, and I feel that you don't necessarily get too much of that these days. A lot of films nowadays, if they're going to be a slasher, they try to pitch it like, oh, we're a slasher, but we're a slasher with this twist. We're trying to do something different. But this one knows that a lot of people just want good, old school, grungy slashers, and it definitely does this pretty well. The Hogman character in here is super big and super scary. I really love his hog mask, and yeah, really, really cool to see him. And when we do get to the kills, good, bloody, violent, over-the-top stuff here. So it does the slasher really well, and it is one of those movies that does definitely wear its influence on its sleeve. Like, you can point at several parts in this movie and say, okay, that's from Halloween, or that's from Texas Chainsaw Massacre. In some cases are pretty direct, like they do that classic pulling the girl back in through the door as she almost gets out. And I know with some people it will bug them when the movie's being super direct and referential, but I think it still does have enough of a sense of its own identity that it didn't really bug me. And I know the movie, it has a sense of humor and it knows when to not take itself super seriously. Like, there's a scene in this movie where a dwarf is trying to spy on this woman, and when he's caught, his family members basically turn into the Texas Chainsaw family when they argue with each other and get over the top, and it can get funny, and it knows when to let loose and be jokey, you know? Now, as far as the biggest flaw, though, and it's a super common slasher flaw that I see all the time in slasher movies, and that is the killer and the kills are really good, but when you get to the plot itself, it's not the best. Like, these kids are shooting a movie, and it's not super technical. Like, I would like to see more of their process and how they're shooting the movie, but as it stands, like, half the characters, I don't even know why they're there. Like, one guy is there just to try to flirt with ladies, and I don't know what he's doing on the actual movie. And then the movie they're making it about the Hogman, and we basically know his legend. Like, the story is relatively easy to get, and it's not super mysterious. Like, maybe if we weren't sure if the Hogman was real or if he was human even, you know, if we had a little more mystery surrounding the Hogman, then the characters doing this documentary and digging up the mystery would be a lot more interesting. But as it stands, when we get all these interviews, yeah, there are some fun moments, but they don't really tell us anything new. And again, like I said, it's a super common slasher problem to have great kills, but not a great outside of that plot. And I will say, when it does what it's doing, it does it well, but the movie is a little long, and you do get cases where you're like, do we really need another interview scene? But again, when it does what it's doing, it does it really well. Like, in the first scene, you get this couple and they're quickly killed by Hogman, and you get gore and nudity and crazy kills. It knows the tropes and it knows how to play them, and genre fans are definitely going to enjoy that. In fact, the opening credits sequence to this movie is literally just a montage of Hogman killing a bunch of different people. So the movie, again, knows what its strengths are. So I wouldn't say this is the best slasher ever, and I wouldn't say it's like a horror hidden gem, but if you guys like grungy, old school styled horror with a sense of humor behind it and really just knowing what it is and giving in to those tropes, that's where the movie does shine. And for the slasher audience, you're really, really going to appreciate this one. But again, not the next biggest and best thing ever, but a good bit of fun, and I can definitely recommend it to the right audience. Anyway though, to everyone who's watched so far, thank you for watching. To everyone who's liked and subscribed, thank you. You really are helping the channel out. I'll leave a relevant playlist on the bottom. This should be my slasher movies playlist where you can see me talk about a bunch of other slasher movies. Anyway, have a good day. I'll see you guys again very, very soon. Relevant playlist on the bottom. Have a good day now.